Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now I know this might not be the type of video that you would expect from me, and to be honest, I probably wouldn't expect it from myself either. I'm a little surprised myself, but just give it a chance, hear me out. Alright, so let me take you back to August 8th of 2014, where there was a man named Scott Cawthon. And Scott Cawthon had been working two jobs, one as a cashier and the other as an indie game dev. Now, despite having two jobs, Scott was not raking in the money very much. And that's because, one, when you think of a cashier, you don't really think of them as earning a whole lot of money. And two, his indie game dev career was not being very successful. And that reason for that lack of success is because people really did not like Scott's games. Some complained that the animations were animatronic-like and very creepy as well. Keep in mind that his games were targeted towards young kids, which would mean if your kid's game is being labeled as creepy, that's not much of a compliment. And Scott definitely did not appreciate these comments, but he didn't let them stop him from doing what he loved, which was making games. So Scott decided to use these comments to his advantage, and he made a new game. And this game was known as Five Nights at Freddy's. And so on August 8th, 2014, Scott shared his new game with the world. Expecting a similar reaction to his previous games, Scott pushed his new game aside and began on thinking about new ideas for his newer games to come. But something Scott didn't know was how much the public would end up loving Five Nights at Freddy's. So much so that I believe the game has become a 10-game series, and the franchise holding about 30 books under its name. And not to mention the copious amount of fan games made, and a huge influence on internet culture and pop culture and just horror in general, along with the countless number of YouTubers whose careers were started or massively improved because of this franchise. All of this from one game. All of this from one man who didn't want to give up on what he loved. All of this because of Scott Cawthon. So now you know a little bit about Scott Cawthon and how Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNaF, came to be. But you still might be a little confused on why I'm making this video. And I believe that there are three reasons for that. One, the event I'm about to share with you happened 3 months ago, and that would mean that I'm making this video very late. Two, I usually don't do these type of commentary style videos. My videos are usually more gameplay based. And three, I have not mentioned FNaF or Scott Cawthon ever on this channel. So I might as well tell you what my relationship with FNaF is. Alright, so I became interested in FNaF about 2 to 3 years ago. And ever since then, I have immersed myself in the FNaF universe. Now, personally, I've actually never played any of the games, but I am extremely interested in the lore, which leads me to watch countless videos on fan theories of people dissecting every single little thing that these games and books can offer. And I mean, seriously, Scott is a genius for being able to create these hidden Easter eggs, and this story that Five Nights at Freddy's it's just so complicated. But Scott still manages to weave it together somehow and have it all make kind of sense. And from me watching all these fan theories, it's definitely helped me have a better than decent knowledge in what happened in the FNaF story. Alright, so now you know a little bit about Scott, and you know a little bit about me. So now it's time to get to the main part of this video, and the big reason why I'm making this. So, for those of you who don't know, in June of 2021, Scott Cawthon announced his retirement. Now, some of you might be confused on why he would do this, so I'll just try to explain it. So, what basically happened was people found out that Scott donated money to some certain politicians, and most of those politicians were from the Republican Party, and I also believe a couple or a few of them were from the Democratic Party. And now, if you know anything about the current state of politics in the US, you probably know that it's very tense and very heated, and that sharing your political opinion can be extremely dangerous. But anyway, Scott donated to some politicians. And if the average person heard that, they might say, who cares? Scott can vote for whoever he wants. It's his opinion. But then a place called Twitter hears about it, and if you know anything about Twitter, you know that it's a place where fun goes to die. And so Twitter did what Twitter does. They canceled him. But they didn't just cancel him. No, canceling was not enough for Twitter. They had to dox him and send death threats to him and his family. And because of this, Scott decided to retire. And this just sickens me. A man who gave people so much was harassed for some simple opinion he had. And frankly, I find it a little weird that people are this surprised about Scott's opinion. For those of you who don't know, Scott is actually a Christian, and typically Christian people tend to lean more Republican or conservative. But anyway, that's that. Scott ends up losing so much because of some crybabies on Twitter who think it's not okay for people to have different opinions than them. It's just all very disappointing and saddening that humans have to treat each other this way. So here's my message to Scott. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Thanks for all the fun and the memories. You are a great person, and I hope you don't change who you are. Oh, and one more thing. See you on the flip side.